In the news headline, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meets former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai in Asu Rock. 14th Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi met Niger coup leaders. Maigatari Local Government Council disburses 10 million naira support to 1,000 households. Salif Keita resigns from Mali's transitional parliament. Hello, today is Wednesday, 22nd Muharram 1445 after Hijrah Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is equivalent to 9th August 2023. I am Salma Adam Iko with the news. President Bola Tinubu has met with former governors of Rivers State Nyesom Wike and Kaduna State Malam Nasir El-Rufai at the presidential villa Abuja. The two former governors are ministerial nominees of President Bola Tinubu. Wike was screened and confirmed by the Senate, but the nation's upper legislative chamber did not confirm El-Rufai because of an alleged security report. The former governors arrived at the State House separately, while Wike came at 1:40 p.m., El-Rufai entered the presidential wing of Asu Rock at 2 p.m. Sources at the presidential villa hinted that efforts have been made to ensure that the Senate confirms Malam El-Rufai. Director General of World Trade Organization WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said President Bola Tinubu is aware of the hardship being experienced by the Nigerians since the removal of fuel subsidy. Okonjo-Iweala said this while addressing newsmen yesterday after meeting with President Tinubu at the State House, Abuja, in the company of former Minister of State for Health and Minister Designate Dr. Muhammad Pate. She said the reason for her visit to Tinubu was to discuss how to help in reducing the level of poverty in Nigeria. Okonjo-Iweala further said that the visit afforded them the opportunity to also talk about investment for the longer term in many other sectors in Nigeria, including the pharmaceutical industry. Dr. Muhammad Pate, who is the former Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Gavi, the Global Vaccine Alliance, said that Tinubu is actively working to ameliorate the suffering and pains of citizens. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has told the senators in the upper chamber that the clerk of the National Assembly will send money into their various bank accounts to enable them enjoy their holiday. In the video, which surfaced online yesterday, Akpabio made the statement before a motion of adjournment was moved at the end of the Senate ministerial screening. He said in order to enable all of them to enjoy their holidays, a token has been sent to their various accounts by clerk of the National Assembly. Shortly after, the head of the nation's upper chamber was alerted by some of his colleagues that the plenary session was live on television. Akpabio then made another statement to counter what he had earlier revealed. The Senate concluded the screening of 45 out of a total of 48 ministerial nominees that were sent by President Bola Tinubu. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai and Senator Abubakar Ladi from Taraba State and former Nexim Bank Managing Director Stella Okotite are yet to be screened over security reports. The 14th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi, has met with the coup leaders in Niger Republic. The former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, met the military leadership after the junta aborted a meeting with representatives of African Union (AU), Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS), and a top United States diplomat. A delegation raised by ECOWAS could not broker peace with the military rulers as they declined a meeting. But today, footages of Sanusi, whose Tijaniya sect has a large following in Niger, went into circulation. The meeting comes a day before the gathering of ECOWAS leaders in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS, had scheduled a meeting for tomorrow after the 7-day ultimatum that the regional bloc issued for the reinstatement of President Muhammad Bazoum elapsed. ECOWAS had slammed sanctions on Niger and threatened possible military option, a move that was widely rejected, especially in Nigeria. The Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Audi, has disclosed that operatives of the Corps have destroyed over 100 illegal refineries across the country in the last 2 years. He disclosed this today while speaking during the opening ceremony of the Second Commandant General's Conference in the year 2023. While lamenting that criminals were targeting public infrastructures and national wealth, he enjoined the commandants to double their effort in tackling all these challenges. He charged the senior officers to begin to deploy new strategies in tackling the spread of insecurity in the country, adding that the Corps had prioritized training and retraining as well as procurement of modern operational and communication equipment in order to further enhance the capacity of the personnel. He warned that it had now become compulsory for all the personnel to attend staff development courses, stressing that promotion of personnel will henceforth be based on development courses attended. The suspended governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Godwin Emefiele, has instituted a suit to halt his further prosecution over alleged illegal possession of firearms by the federal government in a move to prevent charges related to illegal firearm possession and ammunition. Emefiele is also requesting the Federal High Court in Lagos to discharge him from all offenses preferred against him by the Department of State Services, DSS. Through his legal team, headed by Joseph Daudu San, Emefiele filed an application before the court in Lagos seeking the release before Justice Nicholas Oyibo. The latest action was a response to what Emefiele's counsel has termed as brazen disobedience of court order by DSS. In his application, Emefiele urged the court to put a stop to all ongoing proceedings related to the charges requested an order to prohibit the federal government from receiving any legal indulgence from the court unless it adheres to the bail conditions. Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development named Jigawa, Rivers, Taraba, Cross Rivers, and Delta as the 5 worst flood-affected states in the country in a recent release report, recounting the 2022 economic loss Vice President Kashim Shettima at an event organized by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change yesterday said the flood showed climate change at its worst for the country. Shettima was represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff Ibrahim Hassan. Shettima said climate change is one of the biggest challenges facing humanity today, adding that Nigeria's economy is yet to recover from its loss in 2022. He said due to the negative impact of climate change, Nigeria has lost 5.3 trillion naira to the flood, which ravaged many states in 2022. The federal government said the 2022 flood was the worst case witnessed in the country since 2012. The news is coming to you from studio of Sawaba Radio. More news after the short break. Do stay.
This is News on the Hour, Sawaba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Thank you for staying tuned. The Megatari Local Government Council of Jigawa has disbursed 10 million naira support to 1,000 poor and vulnerable households in the area. The information officer in charge of the area, Alhaji Daudu Suleiman, made this known to the News Agency of Nigeria in Dutse yesterday. Suleiman said the council's chairman, Malam Uzairu Nadabo, announced the disbursement while launching the exercise yesterday in Megatari, indicating that each of the benefiting households selected from the nooks and crannies of the area received 10,000 naira. He quoted the chairman as saying that the gesture was aimed at reducing the suffering of people of the area due to the high cost of living. The information officer added that Nadabo assured that the second batch of disbursement will be launched soon to support more poor and the needy in the area. According to him, the Emir of Gume, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi, commended the council for the gesture, noting that it would, in addition, reduce hardship experienced by people as a result of the current economic problems. Two persons have been apprehended for allegedly defilling three minors in Auyo local government area, Jigawa. The suspects were arrested by operatives of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Spokesman of the state NSCDC confirmed CSC Adamu Shehu stated this in a statement yesterday. The suspects are identified as Umar Hassan, age 25, and Al Hassan Husseini of Ungwarbai quarters in Auyo local government area. According to him, Umar Hassan was earlier arrested on Saturday, 29th of July 2023, following a complaint lodged by the father of an 8-year-old girl. He said the suspect confessed to having derived pleasure from touching the child private, but denied having carnal knowledge of her. Adamu said investigation into the case also led to the arrest of one Al Hassan Husseini, whose name was also mentioned as among the suspects abusing other girls. He said the victim also named two of her friends, aged 8 and 9 respectively, who have been abused by the suspect. The Bauchi State Civil Service Commission has terminated the appointment of the Chief Secretariat Assistant attached to the State Pension Board, Ibrahim Garba, over alleged serious misconduct of salary and pension. The Commission, which revealed this in a recent statement by Information Officer Mr. Salah Umar, stated that a disciplinary committee of the State Pension Board found Garba guilty of swapping the account number of one Audu Muhammad, now deceased, with his own. This facilitated the change of pay point after the relatives of the deceased reported his death. Thereafter, Garba received an illegal pension for 55 months of 54,871 naira for 4 years and 7 months, which amounted to over 3 million naira. Umar further explained that the chairman of the commission, Abubakar Usman, has called on workers in the state to be God-fearing in the discharge of their duties. Usman said the public service rule must be observed and adhered to. Governor Dikwa Umaru Radda of Katsina State yesterday night joined personnel of various security agencies in the state to raid hideout of dead devil criminals in the Katsina metropolis. The Chief Press Secretary CSP to the Katsina Governor Ibrahim Kaula Muhammad disclosed this in a statement. Kaula noted that the raid, which took place between 10 to 11:30 p.m., the governor and his delegation of security personnel raiding Sabuwar Ungwa, Shara Pipe, Danhako, Filin Polo, Kofar Guga, and Tudun Matawalle. During their nocturnal raid, Governor Dikwa, in his avowed commitment to rid the state of criminal elements, once again dished out command to operatives of the police to deal mercilessly with the miscreant breaching peace and public order across Katsina. He lamented his worry and displeasure over the acute security challenges bedeviling the state, urging the security chiefs to be more proactive in carrying out their statutory responsibilities. As today is the National Book Lovers Day, a day that harnesses all the excitement bibliophiles feel about books into one celebration. Our correspondent Sadiqat Aisha Umar Malari has more on this.
National Book Lovers Day is celebrated on 9th August every year to raise awareness about the importance of books and celebrate the common love and appreciation for books. This day encourages people to find their favorite reading spot and a good book to encourage the habit of reading regularly. Only book lovers will understand the smell of a new book to the pace they find. After finding an old book in a library, the sight of a book can bring back memories and knowledge. People may enjoy reading short stories or long books, poetry or adventure stories, and it is a chance to completely lose yourself in an exciting or powerful story. The celebration of this day is important for Bookswarm. In a few people's lives, books are their most unique and supportive friends. They didn't spend a day without reading a few pages. We all must respect books and the knowledge they bring into our lives. Sadiqat Aisha Umar Mimalari, Sawaba FM.
Thank you, Aisha Maimalari. And now to international scene. Celebrated Malian musician Salif Keita has resigned from the National Transitional Council (CNT), the legislative body set up to help steer the country away from military rule towards democracy. In a video shared online, an official read out a statement on behalf of Keita in which he says he resigned from the position of the purely personal reasons for purely personal reasons. Pardon. Keita had been a member of Mali's Transitional Legislative Assembly since December 2020, after it was formed following the August 2020 coup that ousted former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. However, some local media reports says Mr. Keita was fired due to misconduct. They said the dismissal was motivated by serious act of breach of duties of probity, dignity, and honor. The Kenyan government has begun talks with the opposition to try and resolve a political feud following a series of violent protests over the high cost of living and calls for electoral reforms. Veteran of opposition leader Raila Odinga has organized a series of demonstrations in recent months. Officials say at least 20 people have been killed in clashes between the security forces and protesters. However, activists say the figure is much higher. The unrest has provoked alarm at home and abroad and prompted calls for mediation to end the standoff. And we wrap up the news with this and a recap of the major stories. From the news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu met former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai in Aso Rock. 14th Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi met Niger coup leaders. Megatari Local Government Council disburses 10 million naira support to 1,000 households. Salif Keita resigns from Mali's transitional parliament. On behalf of the news department and the news editor Muhammad Suleiman Yobe, I am Salma Adam Iko. Have a great night.